Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to lecture 9 of the Grammatical Rules and Systems course. In this lecture we will discuss adverbials, and these are abbreviated as ADV, as you see here. So adverbials, we will see a few definitions. First, an adverbial, which is abbreviated as ADV, as we said, can be a single word adverb, so it can appear as one word, and in this case it is an adverb, or an adverbial phrase. We will see adverbial phrases and the different types of adverbial phrases. So first, adverbial means either single word adverb or adverbial phrase. An adverb is a word like here, tomorrow, and quickly. So these words are called adverbs. They are used to say where, when, and how something happened. Okay, so they give us information about the time, about the position, and about the manner. They also give us more information about other meanings as well, so they can refer to frequency, something frequent, something happens frequently at different frequencies, and they can refer to degree. And we will see each of these adverbs and take some and give some examples for each one of them. So first of all, adverbs are words that give us an idea about where, when, how something happened, and other meanings as well. An adverbial phrase is a group of words. It is a group of words that does the same job as an adverb. So we said the adverb gives us an idea about where, when, and how. Adverbial phrases, they are groups of words that do the same job. They give us an idea about when, where, and how, and other meanings, as we will see. So an adverbial can be one word adverb or an adverbial phrase. An adverbial phrase does the same job as the adverb. Adverbials include prepositional phrases. For example, we were waiting in the lobby. In the lobby is a prepositional phrase. We discussed prepositional phrases previously, so please go back to that lecture if you have difficulty understanding some aspects of prepositional phrases before you view this lecture. In the lobby is an adverbial of place. Okay, we said that prepositional phrases can be considered as adverbials. In this case, they give us an idea about the place of an action, of something that happened. So we say we were waiting, and we can use the adverbial of place in the lobby to give an idea about the place. And in the lobby, of course, is a prepositional phrase. It has the preposition in and the noun phrase the lobby. Two noun phrases. We also discussed noun phrases previously. And for example, I will visit my uncle this afternoon. Okay, so this afternoon is a noun phrase, but it takes the place, or it does the same job as an adverb of time. So I will visit my uncle when? This afternoon. Okay, so this gives us an idea of when, of the time that something happened, or will happen. So in this case, this afternoon is a noun. This is an identifier. It is a determiner, and it points. It is a demonstrative. You remember we mentioned these different classifications. So this is a demonstrative. So this afternoon, here we have an adverbial of time, and it is a noun phrase. So adverbials can include prepositional phrases. They can include noun phrases. They also include clauses, and we will discuss clauses more in detail in our last 4 lectures in the course. But here is a quick overview of those. So we have clauses with a finite verb, and we call those finite clauses. So we said that a finite verb changes with time, so it changes with tense, it changes with person, it changes with number. So if we have a finite verb in a clause, we call this a finite clause. For example, we need to leave before it is too late. Is, in this sentence, is a finite verb. It changes with time, it changes with person, and it changes with number. And it is a clause, of course, here. So before it is too late, this clause gives us time. So we need to leave. When? before it is too late. So it functions as an adverbial of time. So this is a clause that functions as an adverbial of time. Another type of clauses is the infinitive. Okay, so infinitive clauses which are considered to be non-finite. So we remember non-finite include infinitive and present participle verbs. So non-finite verbs include the infinitive, present participle, past participle. We mentioned these in the previous lecture, maybe about lecture 4, something like that. Go back and check it. So infinitive clauses, those that have to with the verb in its base form. So to win, here we have to with win. Of course we can have bare infinitives, but here we will look at an infinitive with to. I am playing to win. To win is an adverbial here. It serves to give us an idea of why, the purpose. Okay, so I am playing. Why am I playing? I am playing to win. Okay, so this is my purpose. This is my goal of doing this thing. So here it is an adverbial. It answers the question why. Why am I doing this? I am doing it to win. I am playing to win. Then we have the present participle clauses, and these are also non-finite clauses. For example, he ran down the road breathing heavily. Breathing heavily is the manner of doing something. So how did he run down the road? He was breathing heavily. So this is the manner. This is the manner of what he did in this sentence. So breathing heavily, this is the present participle. You remember the present participle is the verb plus ing. So breathing heavily, here it is an adverbial of manner. And it is a clause, of course, and non-finite. Let's look at this exercise. Identify the form of the underlined adverbials. So A, choose A if it is a noun phrase. Choose B if it is a prepositional phrase. Choose C if it is a finite clause, or D if it is a non-finite clause. So we want the form, what it looks like. Okay, is it a noun phrase? Is it a prepositional phrase? Is it a clause? Is it finite or not? Number 1, he visited me in my house. We have the preposition in, and we have the noun phrase my house. So this is a prepositional phrase. The answer for number 1 is B. 2, he is studying to pass the exam. We have the infinitive verb to pass. It is an infinitive with to, and this is a clause, and it is non-finite, because we said infinitive clauses are non-finite. So in this case, number 2, the answer is D, non-finite clause. Number 3, Ali has an exam this morning. This morning, we have morning, which is a noun. We have this, which is a determiner. This is a noun phrase. It gives us the idea about when, and this is the choice for number 3 is A. So in 3, the choice is A, MP, noun phrase. Number 4, I will give you my homework after it is done. We have is, as we mentioned, this is a finite verb in this case. So after it is done, this gives us an idea about the time, and it is a clause, and we have a finite verb in the clause, so it is a finite clause. The correct choice for number 4 is C. Number 5, they walked together smiling widely. We have the verb plus ing, okay, smiling widely. In this case, it is a clause, so this is a clause that gives us manner. How did they walk together? They walked together and they were smiling widely. Okay, so the choice for number 5 is, of course, a clause, and as we said, the present participle, the verb plus ing, is non-finite, so the choice is D. Number 5, non-finite clause, D. Adverbials are used as adjuncts. You remember we mentioned adjuncts before. We said that adjuncts are not necessary for the completion of the meaning of the sentence. They are optional. They can be removed. Okay, they are not necessary. They give us extra information. So many adverbials function as adjuncts, as we saw when we discussed prepositional phrases before. So they are optional, they are part of the structure of the clause but optional, and they provide additional information. Adjuncts include adverbials of place giving position. They tell us where something is. Okay, so for example, in the hall or there. This is an adverbial of place that tell us where something is, the position. We also have adverbials of place that give us destination. So those adverbs tell us where to, the destination that someone or something is going to. So to the door, Muhammad is going, is walking towards, is going to the door. So to the door, this is the destination, going to the door. We also have adverbials of time that give us when something happened, the point of time that something happened. For example, at 9 o'clock or today. This is the point of time that something happened. Number 4, time. This is an adverbial of time, and it gives us duration. So it tells us how long something took. So how long did it take to finish something? For example, for 10 days. 10 days, this is the duration of a certain action or a certain event, and it is an adverbial of time. Then we have adverbials of relative time. Relative means that in our mind we have a point of time. Okay, we think of a point of time, and then we judge other events, we judge other actions, we judge other activities based on that point of time. So you think of a point of time, and then you think of other things that happen around it. This is the meaning of relative here. So they tell us how long ago from the point that we have in our mind. For example, just. I just finished it. So I have a point in my mind of time, and I just finished it close to this point of time. Okay, so how long ago? Close or far from this point of time. Still, I am still doing my homework. Still, here, we have a point of time, and this action is happening close or in tandem with the action that is happening in this case is happening in tandem with the point of time in our mind. So it's happening still. It is still just following this point of time in our mind. This is called relative time. So just and still. Number 6, frequency. Adverbs of frequency. You might have came across these before in previous courses. So adverbs of frequency tell us how often. So how often something is repeated or how often something happens. For example, always, rarely. These are called adverbs of frequency. So something that happens always, it always happens. This is the frequency of something that happens always. Rarely, something happens rarely. This is its frequency. So these are called adverbs of frequency. Number 7, degree. Those tell us to what extent. So the degree, to what extent did it happen? So I almost finished my homework. So the extent of me finishing my homework is almost. So I'm not completely done. I am almost done. Okay? So we have a certain degree. Maybe I am 80%, 90% finished. So almost finished. This is the degree. Barely. Okay, I barely finished my homework. Okay, so barely here means a certain degree. So I couldn't finish it. I barely finished it. So I just finished it, but it wasn't done very well enough. Or maybe I didn't, I barely finished it when the teacher walked in. So the teacher walked in, I just finished it. So this gives us the degree of finishing something. Number 8, adverbials of manner. Those tell us in what way. For example, carefully. So if you do something carefully, this is the way, this is the manner you did something. With care, handle it with care. This is an adverbial of manner. This is the way you should take care of something or handle something. Handle it with care. Okay, let's look at this exercise. Choose the type of the underlined adverbials. If it is an adverbial of frequency, choose A. If it is an adverbial of manner, choose B. If it is an adverbial of degree, choose C. And if it is an adverbial of relative time, choose D. Number 1, he always drinks tea in the morning. This is something that happens frequently. Always, someone who drinks tea frequently. So always is an adverb of frequency. The correct choice for number 1 is A. Number 2, the climbers barely made it to the top of the mountain. We said this is a degree, okay, the degree that they made, they barely made it, okay, so it took them long enough and they were very tired, but they barely made it to the top of the mountain. This is an adverbial of degree. 3, he finished the exam quickly. This is the manner. How did he finish the exam? In what manner did he finish the exam? In what way did he finish the exam? He finished the exam quickly. Okay, so quickly is an adverbial of manner. So the correct choice for number 3 is B. Number 4, my friend just arrived from their trip. My friends just arrived from their trip. So just here, I have a point of time in my mind, and my friends just arrived close to this point of time in my mind. So just is an adverbial of relative time. The correct choice for number 4 is D. Number 5, they bravely climbed the mountain. They bravely climbed the mountain. How did they climb the mountain? In what manner? What was the way, or what was their condition when they climbed the manner? They climbed the mountain. So this is an adverbial of manner. This is an adverbial of manner. They bravely climbed it. Okay, this is the way in which they did something. Climbing, which is here, climbing the mountain. So the correct choice for number 5 is B. Bravely is an adverbial of manner. Okay, we talked previously in lecture 8, the previous lecture, about gradable adjectives. Adverbs are similar. There are adverbs that can be graded. They can be gradable. They have certain degrees. So some adverbs of manner can be gradable. So adverbs of manner, we can grade those. Adverbs that tell us in what way, how something was done. So these are called adverbs of manner, and they can be graded. We can say, for example, very carefully. Okay, so carefully is a gradable adverb, and we can give more of the grade. So carefully, this is a certain level. When we say very carefully, this is the next degree or a higher degree of being careful. Okay, so very carefully. This is a higher degree of being careful than just carefully. He did it carefully, he did it very carefully. Okay, notice there is a difference in the degree. More carefully, most carefully, comparative and superlative, similar to adjectives. Okay, so more carefully, he did it more carefully than something else. So he might have done something and the other thing did it more carefully, with more care. Most carefully, this is, he did it most carefully, so he took the utmost care of something. So this is an example of an adverb of manner that can be graded. We call this a gradable adverb. Some other adverbs of manner, like perfectly and completely. You remember, perfect as an adjective and complete as an adjective cannot be graded. We said that in the previous lecture. The adverbs that are derived from these adjectives, like perfectly, completely, they are not graded, because when you say something that perfectly happened, okay, this is the highest degree. You can't grade it even more. Something happened completely, okay, it is complete. You can't grade it higher than completely. So in these cases, the adverbs of manner in these cases are not gradable. Position of adverbials. Adverbials can have 3 different positions: at the end of the clause, at the beginning of the clause, and in the middle of the clause. So we will look at each of these positions now. The first position, the final position, at the end of the clause. And for example, thank you very much is an adverbial. It is here at the end of the clause. So we call this the final position. Then we have the initial position. Initial means first or beginning. So these appear at the beginning of the clause, and those include adverbials of place, especially position, adverbials of time, and adverbials of frequency. Those can appear, as I said, in the beginning, and they have a special purpose. Okay, there is a special reason why we use these at the beginning. The reason for this position is to focus, okay, or is to draw the attention. To focus attention on the location. We want the listener, or the speaker wants the listener to focus on certain information in the sentence. So he might want him to focus on the location. This when he uses the adverbial of place at the beginning of the clause, or the time when he uses the adverbial of time at the beginning of the clause, or the frequency when he uses the adverbial of frequency at the beginning of the clause. Look at this example here. 2 days ago I saw my dear friend Ahmed. 2 days ago, here we are focusing on time. In this case, we took the adverbial of time from the end and put it at the beginning to focus the attention, or to draw the attention of the listener to the time. Okay, so the time is important. The speaker thinks that the time is important, and this is why he put it at the beginning. So usually we will say, I saw my dear friend Ahmed 2 days ago. We can also say 2 days ago, comma, I saw my dear friend Ahmed. Okay, so 2 days ago we put it at the beginning to make it the focus of attention, because it is important. The speaker thinks that the time is important in this sentence. In Riyadh, there is a big celebration. Usually we say there is a big celebration in Riyadh, but if we want to focus on the place, if we think that the place is important and we want the speaker to pay a special attention to it, we want him to know that this is the focus of attention. This is what I want you to pay attention to, which is the place. We can say in Riyadh, the adverbial of place came first, and then comma, and then there is a big celebration. Okay? Then we have the third position, which is the middle position. Okay, we call it also the medial position. Medial, middle have the same meaning here. So middle position, those are single word adverbs. Okay, only single words adverbs. Single word adverbs of frequency and of relative time and of degree, and there are certain other uses as well, but these are the three that we will have here. So frequency, relative time, and degree, they appear in the middle of the clause. Their position, please pay attention to this, okay? They come after the operator, and we discussed operators in lecture 5. So if you forgot, go back to lecture 5 and see what we mean by operators. So in complex verbal groups we have operators, and in this case those one-word adverbs come after the operator. We will see some examples in a bit. They also come after the full verb be, which also can be used as an operator if you remember our discussion in lecture 5. So they come after operators, including the full verb to be, and they come before any other verb. Okay, so all other verbs, they come before it. Let's look at these examples. We have often talked together. Okay, here often comes after the operator have. We have a complex verbal group, have talked. Have is the operator. It can be used to form a question. It can be used to form a negative. It does different operations. You remember our discussion previously. So here we have the adverb often after have. Okay, after the operator have. We are still waiting. We are still waiting. Here we have are waiting. Are waiting is a complex verbal group. We have the verb to be, which is the operator in this case, are, and still the adverb came after the verb to be and before the main verb. So are, still waiting. We are very tired. We are very tired. Please be careful. Tired in this sentence is not a verb, even though it has ed at the end. So it is not a verb, it is an adjective. Okay, it gives quality. Someone who is tired, I am tired. Okay, no, it is not a verb. It doesn't convey activity or states or anything that it can't be used as a verb, tired here. So we are very tired. There is only one verb, which is the verb to be are. Okay, so we have we, which is the subject. It is a first person plural pronoun, first person plural pronoun, and then we have are, which is the verb to be, and it is the only verb in this sentence. It is the main verb. And then very tired, we have very, which is an adverb, and then tired, which is an adjective, as we said. Of course, very comes after the full verb are. We still have some money. We still have some money. Here we have the verb have. It is a full verb. As we said, all other verbs other than operators and verbs to be, the adverbs come before them. Okay, so still have, the adverb still came before the full verb have. Also in the case of go, we sometimes go to Jeddah. Go, we have sometimes, which is the adverb, it came before the full verb go. Now we will look at the functions of adverbials, as we did with adjective phrases, as we did with prepositional phrases, as we did with noun phrases. So in each one of those phrases, we talked about the function. So some of the functions of adverbials include, here are some of the functions. First, adjunct. We said adjuncts are not necessary for the completion of meaning. We can remove them, we can take them away, delete them, and the meaning will be complete. For example, I knew her. I knew her is a complete sentence. We can finish the sentence here. But when we add very well, I knew her very well, this is the manner. How did you know her? I knew her. Or how did you know her before? So I knew her very well. I knew her very well. So very well here is an adverbial, and it is an adjunct. We can take it away. Then we have a complement, and we said differentiate between adjuncts and complements. Complements are necessary. Number 2 here we have the complement of subject plus be. So that's all right. That's all right. Of course, that's, we have a contraction form here. This is actually that and is, okay? But we contracted the is here. So that is all right. That is the subject, and is the verb to be here. All right is an adverbial, and it is the complement. We can say that's, and we end the sentence. We need this to complete the meaning. So we need the adverbial all right to complete the meaning. So it is a complement. Then we have adverbials as direct objects. So they didn't tell me why. Tell me why. So we can say they didn't tell me this. Okay? Me, indirect. This is direct. So indirect and direct object. We can say they didn't tell this to me. Okay, they didn't tell this to me. So why can be taken away and we put this in its place. So they didn't tell me why. They didn't tell me why. Why here is a direct object, and me is an indirect object of the verb tell. Okay, please differentiate between the use of adverbials as direct objects and as complements and as adjuncts. Adverbials can also function as modifiers, and they can modify a great number of word classes. They can modify nouns, they can modify adjectives, they can modify prepositions, and they even can modify other adverbs. So, for example, here we have a number of phrases: noun phrases, adjective phrases, adverb phrases, and prepositional phrases, and we will see how the adverbs can modify these phrases. They can come before the head as pre-modifiers, and they also can come after the head as post-modifiers. So in the noun phrase, nearby hotel, hotel is a noun, it is the head of the noun phrase, and nearby is an adverb, it came here as a pre-modifier. Then we have the noun phrase, way ahead, way is a noun, it is the head of this noun phrase, and we have ahead, ahead is an adverb, and it came after the head. Okay, so ahead is a post-modifier. Then we will have, we have here the adjective phrase completely new. New is an adjective, completely is an adverb, new is the head in this adjective phrase, and completely is a pre-modifier. It came before the head. Quick enough, quick is an adjective, enough is an adverb, quick enough is an adjective phrase, the head here is quick, and enough came after the head, and so it is a post-modifier. Then we have the adverb phrase very often. Very is a pre-modifier, it is an adverb. Often is also an adverb, so we see here an adverb that modifies another adverb. So often is the head, very modifies the head as a pre-modifier. Quickly enough. Quickly is a head here, it is an adverb, and enough is a post-modifier, it came after the head. Prepositional phrases like directly through, through is a preposition, and directly is an adverb. It came before the preposition, and we need of course to complete this phrase. So we say it went directly through the building. Okay, directly through the building. Through the building is a prepositional phrase, and directly is an adverb that modifies the prepositional phrase. Let's look at this exercise. Identify the function of each of the underlined adverbials. So they can either be adjuncts, they can either be complements, objects, or modifiers. First of all, are you absolutely sure? Are you absolutely sure? Sure here is an adjective, okay? And absolutely sure, absolutely modifies the adjective. We can say, are you sure? But are you absolutely sure? Absolutely gives us more information about, or it confirms the adjective sure. So here, absolutely is a modifier of the adjective sure. We said there are a number of ways that adverbs can modify different word classes. In this case, it modifies an adjective. Number 2, the child followed his father very quickly. We can say the child followed his father, and we can end the sentence. So very closely is extra information. It is optional, we can take it away. So in this case, very closely is an adverbial that functions as an adjunct. We can take it away, we can move it. Then he told him when to come. He told him when to come. So in this case, we have the subject he, we have the verb told, and then we have two objects. We have told him something. Told him something. Okay? So him is an indirect object, and then something, which in this case is when to come. This is what he told him. This is the thing that he told him. So he told him something. He said something to him. Okay? So he told him when to come. Him is an indirect object. When to come. When in this case is a direct object. And so the correct choice is C. And number 3, it is an object. Number 4, the show ended very quickly. Very quickly, here we have an adverb phrase, an adverbial. So quickly here is an adverb. Very is another adverb. It modifies quickly. And so here we have very as a modifier. In number 4, the correct choice is D. And then it was all right. We have the subject it. We have the verb to be, was. And then we can't end the sentence. We can't say it was and finish the sentence. We need something more. We need something to complete the meaning. And in this case, all right is an adverbial that completes the meaning. So we call it a complement. So in number 5, the function of the adverbial all right is a complement. The correct choice of number 5 is B. Okay, so this is the end of our discussion of adjective phrases. Hopefully you found this interesting, and please go back and look at the previous phrases we studied together, because now we will move on to different things than phrases. But first we will have in the next lecture a bit of a review, something that will take another point of view of what we discussed previously. So before you go to the next lecture, please go back and look at each phrase type: prepositional phrases, adjective phrases, noun phrases, and adverbials, and make sure that you understand them before you move on to the next lecture. Thank you for listening, and I will see you next time.